Hey guys, Grandy Tamayas here, and apologies for the long wait between Sonic videos, again. I know there's been a lot of Sonic reveal stuff lately, like some of the casting and the logo for the third movie and an upcoming game remaster, but I'm not here to talk about those. Recently, a new trailer was released for the Knuckles TV series for Paramount+, and I thought plot-wise it was alright. I'm willing to watch it with an open mind once it comes out, but it didn't really raise my excitement as much as I thought it would. Except for one thing, and if you've watched some of my older Sonic videos, you should know I predicted this, and seeing it got me excited through the roof. Towards the end of the trailer, we get an appearance from none other than Pachacamac. For those unaware, or if it's been a while since you've seen these two videos, I'll give a quick rundown. In the video games, particularly the first Sonic Adventure, Pachacamac was the warmongering leader of the Knuckles clan, an ancient group of echidnas from whom Knuckles is descended. He also has a daughter named Tikal, who plays an important role in the backstory of the water god of destruction, Chaos. More on that later. Pachacamac was already dead by the time of the main events of Sonic Adventure, since he and his tribe existed thousands of years in the past. But that part of the lore seems to have been changed for the movie adaptation. As a matter of fact, this isn't actually our first time seeing Old Patch in the Sonic movies. In the first film, the tribe of echidnas that attacked Sonic and Longclaw highly resembled the Knuckles clan from SA1, and their masked leader has the same paint markings as those on Pachacamac's forehead. Oh yeah, and he was the one who shot Longclaw. While Pachacamac doesn't appear in the second movie, it is implied that he died off-screen since Knuckles is said to be the last of his kind.
Oh, that's Knuckles, the last of the echidnas, and the most dangerous warrior in the galaxy.
Which brings us to now. Despite what was said previously, Pachacamac is here and working at a bowling alley of all places. He's even wearing a name tag, so there is zero doubt that this is him. And I gotta say, I dig this design. A perfect translation to live action. He also appears to be very happy, which is a personality trait that we've never really seen out of his limited appearances in the games. But the big questions are, how and why? What explanation is there for why he's suddenly here? Yeah, just the fact that it is a series about Knuckles means that it'd be a great opportunity to introduce more of his game backstory elements, but nothing else about the plot and trailers so far seem to suggest how that'd be relevant. And a bowling alley. That's the last place I'd have expected to see an Echidna tribe chief, and yet, here he is. So, let's break things down. There are two possible explanations I see for why Pachacamac is appearing in the present setting. One, he actually did survive and Knuckles is not the last of his species, or two, Knuckles is only having a vision or imagining that Pachacamac is here. For the first explanation, it may seem like a huge contradiction to the lore, especially considering that the second movie put a lot of emphasis on Knuckles' loneliness, and it's a major part of his characterization in the games. I would love to debate how much story potential certain characters would have if they aren't the only ones of their species shown, as I seem to do, but I don't think that this is a contradiction in the case of the echidnas in the Sonic movies. Remember, our information for Knuckles being the last echidna comes from what Tails said in that clip I showed earlier. But where did he get that information? Since Knuckles is known as the most dangerous warrior in the galaxy, that would mean that civilizations on other planets know of him too, not just Tails. But just because a lot of people know about something doesn't mean it's accurate. And as far as we know, Pachacamac never reached the same level of name recognition for his acts as Knuckles did throughout the galaxy, since he seems to have just been limited to Sonic's planet. It's also worth noting that this would mean that Pachacamac had to have survived the attack against Longclaw, even though, again, while the second movie never says it outright, it suggested that the echidnas and Longclaw all killed each other. I always assumed no one ever came back from that hunting party, and so that's why Knuckles struck out on his own to become a galactic warrior. But this might get explained more in the series since the trailer seems to lean into that aspect of Knuckles' personality. But if Pachacamac survived, then for all we know, Longclaw could still be alive too. Maybe it ended between the two of them in a draw. Who knows? Alright, on to the second explanation. Could this be just a vision and not actually a living, breathing Pachacamac? Well, it seems like there's a few things that would make this likely. Like I said, he's in a bowling alley, a place uncharacteristic to how he's depicted in the games. In this scenario, we'd have to assume that Tails' information remains accurate, and it would seem kind of weird that he's working a public job after the second film established that gun was created to protect Earth from alien threats. Aliens that would definitely include Pachacamac. So they would totally capture him and throw him in jail. Yeah, Knuckles is here too, but as far as we know, he won't be staying long here at this bowling alley in Reno, Nevada. The fact that Pachacamac was not only able to get employed, but also rise to the position of manager, means that he's probably been working here long enough that Gunn should have found him. Unless he's not real. If this is just a vision from Knuckles, it's probably meant for some kind of character growth with him looking to one of his elders for guidance. Even though we all know he'd be a terrible source of advice because he is kind of an asshole. On the contrary, why would Knuckles imagine Pachacamac looking like this, when the last time he would have seen him, he looked like this? The time gap of more than a decade would explain the change in his physique, sure, but that means that he would have had to have survived the encounter with Longclaw. Would it really make sense for Knuckles to imagine an older version of someone who never ended up living to that age? I'm sure the show will explain this, but as of right now, it's extremely confusing why we're getting Pachacamac in this setting. But I'm happy about it nonetheless. If you want my opinion, I hope that this is the real Pachacamac and not just a vision. For one thing, he could serve as another potential antagonist, and he has a perfect motive. The Master Emerald, just like how he sought out its power in Sonic Adventure. Perhaps that's why he's come to Earth. He wouldn't be one to stop until he reclaims it for the glory of all Echidna kind, which could give some nice personal conflict for Knuckles, since in the trailer, he does mention the vow that he made to protect the Master Emerald. Not only that, if Sonic were to find out that the guy who shot his owl mom is still alive, he is going to be pissed. But more than any of that, even regardless of whether he's real or not, Pachacamac's presence in this series, both in name and accurate character design, is everything short of flat out saying Tikal exists in the Sonic movie universe. It has to be. Paramount cannot just give us this perfect representation of Pachacamac and not give us a character who not only has a vital connection to him, but is also more story important than him. Like I said, I have a whole video on her, but if Tikal exists in this universe, it opens up the door to adapt the Sonic Adventure storyline. As a huge SA1 fan, I want this so badly. Because it also means that we'd be getting Chaos. Also, now that we know that Chaos is descended from a race of aliens in the games, I wonder how the movies would adapt that aspect, if the movies ever get to that point. We already know Sonic Movie 3 will be adapting Sonic Adventure 2, so they're not necessarily doing the game storylines in order. Plus, with how important Shadow is going to be in that movie, I doubt Pachacamac will be reappearing in that. Especially since his voice actor, Christopher Lloyd, A.K.A. Doc Brown from the Back to the Future films, is only confirmed for the Knuckles series thus far. Who knows, maybe we'll have to wait until Sonic 4 or later until an SA1 inspired story really takes shape. But let me know in the comments, are you excited for the Knuckles series? Do you think Pachacamac is still alive? And what do you think this will mean for the future of the Sonic movies? I'll probably make more Sonic videos after the series comes out and once marketing really gets going for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. If you want to follow me outside of these videos, I'm on Twitter and I have a Discord server, both of which are linked in the description. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed, have a nice day, and thank you for your time.